Hi, and welcome to MHS Sportstalk, where we'll talk about everything you need to know in the world of sports. Now we're going to send you over to Nathan, talking about what happened in the end of March Madness. Thanks, Nate. Hi, and welcome back to another episode. Today we'll be talking about what's going on in the NHL and the upcoming trade deadline coming Monday, April 12th. Not much has changed in the standings since our last episode, but the Colorado Avalanche have been hot. They have went on a 15-game point streak without losing a game in regulation and have moved to first place in the West Division. The Vancouver Canucks, who suffered from one of the worst COVID outbreaks the NHL has seen so far, are now back to playing and will reschedule all their games and play a full 56-game season. Now we'll talk about the upcoming trade deadline. So far there haven't been many trades this year, only a few notable ones. For example, the trade that sent Patrick Laine to Columbus for Pierre-Luc Dubois, and most recently a trade that sent David Savard, a veteran defenseman, to the Tampa Bay Lightning. As we approach the deadline, I expect to see more trades. Teams like the Bruins, Blues, Flyers, and many others look to make a move to give them the boost they need for a solid playoff run. Notable players like Taylor Hall, Johnny Gaudreau, and PK Subban have been mentioned in many trade talks, but we'll see what happens before this Monday. I'd also like to congratulate the UMass Minutemen on winning the national championship this weekend, beating a very talented team in St. Cloud State. Well, that's all for today. Now we'll send you over to Amani with the latest in the NBA.
Hi, I'm Amani, and you're watching Hoops Talk. This week, I'll be giving my predictions and takes on the NBA playoff picture and what the East and West are currently looking like going into the last full month of NBA basketball. Start off with the East. I feel like towards the end of the season, it'll be a battle between Brooklyn and Philly for the number 1 seed. But Brooklyn's super team will most likely take it due to Philly's injuries with Joel Embiid and Kevin Durant's return. The extremely disappointing Boston Celtics team, they'll hopefully pick it up in these next few weeks in the season and perform better than they have been. Just by winning 4 or 5 games, it could push them to the 4th or 5th seed. They have some tough matchups in this last month against the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Trailblazers, and the Nets. The Bucks have made a serious case to come out of the East, and this week they signed their star point guard Drew Holiday to a 4-year, $134 million contract to seal their championship contending team, with Giannis and Chris Middleton leading the way. The Lakers have fallen to the 5th seed due to the injuries of LeBron and AD. They lost a big game against the Clippers, and Andre Drummond is already injured, which hasn't helped them at all. The 1 seed Utah Jazz and the number 2 seed Phoenix Suns are serious championship contending teams and can make a lot of noise in the playoffs with the performances of young leaders in Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell. For the Phoenix Suns, going from a terrible team in the past 5 years to picking up elite point guard Chris Paul and a young star in Devin Booker, Booker's consistency for the Suns has helped them hold the 2nd seed in a very tough Western Conference. This last full month of NBA basketball should be completely different. The COVID year has really changed things and injuries have been ridiculous this year, but these playoffs should be extremely interesting. Thanks for watching Hoops Talk. Now over to Jack with the NHL.
Thanks. I'm Johnny Madej, and this is a preview of my next episode of the Playbook Review Show. Mike Martz's 2000 Rams was one of the best teams the NFL has ever seen. There was a reason why this offense was named the greatest show on turf, and it was for the amount of offensive production this team had. In the 2000 season, they had 7,335 total yards, which was first in the league, along with 5,492 passing yards, with 37 passing touchdowns, and 26 rushing touchdowns. This team had the ability to air the ball out with Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk. He was more than just a running back because they were able to use him also in the passing game. That season, he won the MVP with 26 touchdowns and 1,359 rushing yards. Mike Martz was the offensive coordinator for the Rams, and he had a pretty basic philosophy. Pass the ball until we are up enough to run it. This was very different to other coaching philosophies in the league at the time, as most teams wanted to run the ball to try to set up the pass. His system, which was called the Dish-It system, is really just a variation of the Air Coryell offense, which was invented by Don Coryell during his time with the Chargers. The system involved taking deep shots downfield, and they would try to use as much of the field as they could vertically and horizontally. We will go into a little bit more detail on how plays are called, but the digit system gets its name because of how the plays were named. Most of the plays involve using this route tree, which if you're a football fan you have probably seen before, to adapt and change routes and concepts from week to week, team to team, and play to play to try to attack the defense as best as they could. Thank you for watching my preview, and now on to the next segment.
I do to make it through the times we had. I see it now, I see it now. Real love, now I break through to show to you that I'm more good than I am bad. I work it out, I work it out. And I'll be somewhere that you need me, and I'll be holding my breath, waiting for you to show. I see it now, I see it now. Real love, now I break through to show to you that I'm more good than I am bad. I work it out, I work it out. And I'll be somewhere that you need me, and I'll be holding my breath, waiting for you to show.
Thanks, Felipe, for that great soccer video. Well, that's all for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for another great episode of MHS Sports Talk.